right, and welcome to another episode of the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here, your favorite wrestling fans, here to talk about everything in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about all the shows, we talk about all the superstars, talk about promotions from WWE to AEW, Ring of Honor to Stardom, to New Japan Professional Wrestling to the GCW. If it makes major news headlines in the world of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. So make sure you guys hit that like and subscribe button and follow the show. Hope you guys had an amazing Tuesday. We're almost there, guys. It's almost Wednesday, the middle of the week. Obviously, all those 9 to 5, Monday through Friday, keep that grind going, guys. We're almost there. Luckily, we have a week full of wrestling to kind of, lean back on and to kind of, keep your head up a little bit. You know what I mean? So, hope you guys had an amazing Tuesday. Well, guys, thank you so much for tuning into the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. We have a lot for you today on tap. We're going to talk about our WWE Monday Night RAW review. I'm going to give you guys some of my NXT hot takes, before the show. Also previewed a little bit. Obviously, it already aired on the East Coast. I have it recorded right now. Obviously on the West Coast kind of guy, still pay for cable, so we still kind of get the, obviously, I have to wait. But, I have not checked a single shred of social media, no TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook or anything like that. So, obviously to stay surprised and have the, the unpredictability factor still in the world of professional wrestling. And then we're going to talk about, in our third segment, we're going to go in and talk about Samantha Irvin. According to reports, she has revealed the reasons why she ultimately decided to leave the WWE. So we're going to get into that. In our fourth segment, we're going to talk about NXT coming to the ECW arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Should be pretty badass. According to reports and stuff like that, I guess the tickets already basically sold out on pre-sale, which means there's a whole bunch of, a lot of exciting fans to kind of see this show, to see what, the kind of product that NXT have become. So, that's good for business. That's good for WWE. In our fifth and final segment, something we do every Tuesday, I take you guys into my wrestling DeLorean, gun it to 88 miles per hour. We go back in time on this day of October 22nd, and we just talk about some, some cool things that's happened, some monumental things in wrestling. Definitely some things that I remember watching as well on this date. So I can't wait to get into that. But before we do anything, I want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat. If you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling, go ahead and hit up that super chat link and we can talk about it. We are all ears. If you're dying to get something off your chest here at the GSMC Sports Network, we love to hear it. We just want to keep the conversation lively, making sure that you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. Don't be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment, question, or concern gets noticed on the show, just go ahead and, hit up that super chat. It's a $sign below the chat box right there. Whatever you put in there is going to be guaranteed to be talked about, debated about, and just, we want to hear your hot takes, guys, your wrestling hot takes. It's a great way to also support the GSMC Sports Network. We have a, group of very passionate podcasters who are amazing at what they do. And all they want to do is bring you guys awesome sports content Monday through Friday. So obviously we need, your support. First and foremost, I thank you ahead for tuning in, being a part of the show, chatting, donating, all that kind of jazz. We are nothing without our fans. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. So go ahead and, send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we will make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. Of course, if the super chat is not your thing, still hit up the tips and donations link at the gsmcpodcast.net. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity 1,010%. But of course, in terms of talking sports, it's inevitable. There's going to be disagreements, some debates, criticisms. It does not matter. Feedback is a gift. We want you guys to feel absolutely comfortable. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. Do not be shy. Whatever you do not be shy. All right, let's talk about segment one. We have WWE Monday Night Raw. It was a good show. I liked it. I thought, after WWE Raw kind of went to 2 hours, it did kind of feel like, and it happened on a couple of not a couple of episodes. Maybe just the first one which was like I think 2 weeks ago, and it felt like they were kind of bashing everything together, making everything seem like they were kind of hurrying segments, purring, superstar promos and stuff like that. But today was, last night was great. I thought it was great. Right off the bat, you got a lot of action. You saw Seth Rollins, attacking Bronson Reed. These guys obviously, have a bone to pick with each other. They're going to have a great match at WWE Crown Jewel. Adam Pearce, he made it official. So that's going to be one of the main events. Not the main event, but Seth Rollins was taken out by this guy after I think it was six tsunamis. So he has a lot of a lot of built up revenge that he wants to take out Bronson Reed. All right, next we have Io Sky and Kairi Sane. They cut a promo. Personally, I got to be honest. I love the direction Damage Control is kind of going right now. When they were talking backstage with Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez, ultimately challenging them to a match. Later on. Io Sky's a star. Kairi Sane's a star. When Asuka comes back, I'm not too sure if she's gonna, resume her role inside Damage Control. I would never, I love Damage Control, nevertheless. I feel like they are going to be, the future of women's, the tag team division. Io Sky still, she's still picking up big wins, very, even if in singles competition. So, definitely, love and respect Io Sky right there. Then we have a tag team eliminator match. We had the New Day taking on AOP, right from the beginning. Obviously, you saw kind of a 4-second farewell to Samantha Irvin, which was like, all right, it was like, oh, she won't be with WWE today, and this yada yada yada. Then out comes Lillian Garcia. She's back. I'm not too sure if it's going to be a full-time ring announcer, but I got all the love and respect for Lillian Garcia. But last night was a little you know once when you do something, I guess you never learn, you never forget how to do it. But she botched a couple of times, and I'm going to talk about it throughout the show. But right off the bat, she botched the word number one contenders match. Like I thought that was I was like, all right, you know what I mean? Like, when you come back to WWE after being gone for so long, there's room for, there's room for error. Like, you know what I mean? Obviously nobody can do it like Samantha Irvin, but just the 4-second farewell, I thought that was kind of messed up. You know what I mean? I thought maybe like they should have had like that, that picture of a WWE farewell, you know what I mean? Wish the best. Maybe she has like a video promo, but then again, she did depart from the company on short notice. On short notice as per reports. But I don't know. I just thought it was a little. I don't know. That was a little wonky. I thought she kind of deserved something more. And then during the match, you saw the Miz come out. The Miz once again, being tempted by carrying Cross, and then you saw R-Truth also get involved, attacking the Miz. The New Day was able to pick up from the distraction to pick up the win. They are going on to face, the winner out of the second match that happened last night. And, it was pretty cool because you saw Kofi Kingston and Xavier Woods still kind of going at it and disagreeing with each other after you saw R-Truth being attacked by the Final Testament. And of course, the lights go out, and then the Wyatt Sicks come out, and, they take out the Final Testament. I thought that was super cool. Definitely a great booking for, all 8 of those guys, even, Nikki Cross and Ivy Nile as well. Not Ivy Nile, Scarlett. And I love it. I loved it. I definitely thought it was the best way to kind of get these two factions involved in Monday Night Raw, because it seemed like their promos on Raw, also their TV time has been they were a little stale. So it's great to see these guys actually get some television time and to see, because it's going to be this match would be great. The American Made, love the Creed brothers. I love Chad Gable, but at the same time they were no match for the Wyatt Sicks. Eric Rowan, Dexter Loomis, also Joe Gacy. These guys are huge. Uncle Howdy, and now you have AOP. AOP. These guys are big guys as well. And then you have The Miz. He's a multi-time Intercontinental Champion, WWE Champion as well. And then you also have Karrion Kross, who's sick and sadistic as well. Like he, kind of in that same boat as Uncle Howdy. So this is going to be a great feud. I can't wait to see what stems off of this. I think it's going to make for great television on Monday Night Raw, so I can't wait to see that. Next, we had Damage Control taking on Liv Morgan and Raquel Rodriguez. Once again, Lillian Garcia, another botch, saying that they were being accompanied by Dominic Mysterio. Dominic Mysterio was nowhere to be found. Even Wade Barrett kind of mentioned it. Lash legend Miss Jackson sitting ringside, and of course they got involved, screwed over Damage Control. Then you saw Damage Control ultimately, getting beat down. And then that's when Raquel Rodriguez, came out. Well, no, Rhea Ripley came out for the save to attack, Rodriguez and also Liv Morgan. I thought that was pretty cool. Rey Mysterio and Dragon Lee against American Made. Once again, another botch by Lillian Garcia saying that, they were accompanied by Joaquin Wild. He was nowhere to be found, which was, like I said, it's not, it's nothing against her. It's not an indictment. I'm saying that she's a crappy ring announcer or anything like that, or that, sometimes you got to dust the cobwebs off. You know what I mean? And, by all means, it wasn't like, it didn't really kill the show or affect anything that much. So I don't know, just kind of mentioning it, because just like Samantha Irvin was great. She was great at what she did. Obviously, she felt like she was going to be the future of ring announcing in WWE. But bringing Lillian Garcia back was probably the best. Was kind of the best way to match that, like that vocal intensity that they both have. So like I said, just mentioning, not really taking it into consideration, being like, oh, that she sucks or anything like that. Definitely, not my intention, because I love and respect Lillian Garcia. She was there during my kind of time in professional wrestling. I thought that was super cool. As a fan, not like my time as a wrestler. That that would have been pretty crazy. Would have been pretty crazy cool if I wrestled. That would be badass. Then you saw Gunther in an interview, talking about Cody Rhodes, bringing his daughter into this, saying that this guy loves drama. Damian Priest wants a rematch. You'll probably get it at Survivor Series. As of right now, I can't really think of anybody on the Raw roster that deserves a title shot, because you never saw Damian Priest, get his rematch clause, I guess you can say. And Drew McIntyre has nowhere, he's nowhere to be found. CM Punk is going to be taking a little hiatus. And then obviously you had Carlito of the Judgment Day confront Adam Pearce and saying that Dominic Mysterio has a match next week against a former WWE champion for the number 1 contenders to try to get a match against Gunther. And, obviously speculations lie ahead. It could be, my best bet would probably be Drew McIntyre, maybe, or, I don't know if Brock Lesnar comes back, or maybe John Cena. That would be pretty epic. That'd be pretty cool. If John Cena came back to take out Dominic Mysterio, kind of just ultimately, kill his dreams of getting, becoming the number 1 contender for Gunther's WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Thought that was pretty cool. Then in our main event, we got Jey Uso knocked off, no longer the WWE Intercontinental Champion. He was beaten by Bron Breakker. Obviously, the Bloodline got involved. They brought Jey Uso into the family feud that he ultimately wanted to avoid. Fatu came face to face with Bron Breakker. The fans were cheering. Everybody was everybody was going crazy. I, would love to see these two behemoths kind of go at it. And then once again, then you saw the Tongans come out, get their stuff, stick their nose in someone's business. And of course, Jacob Fatu with the super kick on Jey Uso, leaving him on the announce table, left for dead. And, that was Monday Night Raw. Jey Uso, no longer the WWE Intercontinental Champion. Sucks. I thought, like I said, it's to the point where, he might not be champion now, and he might have lost it, on kind of short terms. But he's going to get another shot. He's going to get another shot. And when this, Bloodline Civil War thing after Survivor Series, I feel like ultimately he will get the belt back, because, who else is better to hold the title, ushering this new era of WWE on Netflix, other than main event Jey Uso? So there's no doubt in my mind that he's going to get that. He's going to get that title back. It's kind of like a, see you later, for the title and stuff like that. All right, guys. So, hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our second segment. Tonight, we have WWE NXT. We're going to talk about it a little bit, give a little bit of hot takes. Also, kind of preview the episode a little bit. So, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here. So, hey, do not go anywhere.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign.
I wanna be the greatest. Everybody on the fake shit. I look around and feel like everybody is the fakest. I make this every day and I'm impatient, hoping one day I blow up from the basement. Statement, the top is so vacant. I don't hear shit that I think is amazing. Waiting for my day when I'm playing sold out shows for 1,000 faces. Hey, give me that crown, get in my way and to be put down. It ain't your place, all this my town. If I want that shit, then I'll get it right now. I'm losing it, the noose it fits. I'm losing shit, a stupid myth. You choose to live or choose to dip. You choose to fight or lose your grip and lose a gift.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind? Please, Lord, give me a sign, a sign. I feel like I'm losing my mind. Is everybody in the world blind?
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time on the GSMC Sports Network to talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage, curtain drama, and rumors. We talk about superstar, injury updates and active statuses, contract negotiations, extensions, and signings, from promotions from WWE to AEW to TNA to Ring of Honor, to New Japan Professional Wrestling, to Stardom, to the GCW, to the NWA, for makes major news, headlines in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show Monday through Friday. So, don't miss it. All right, it's going to reflect on what we talked about right quick and give you guys my hot takes and my reactions to WWE Monday Night Raw. Make sure you check that video out on our YouTube page. So without further ado, let's jump on into some WWE NXT talk. But before we do any of that, just want to remind you guys to go ahead and hit up that super chat once again. Obviously, if you have a burning question or a hot take in terms of professional wrestling here at the GSMC Sports Network, we are absolutely all ears, 1,010%. The show is all about keeping the conversation lively, making sure you guys feel like your voice is part of the mix. So do not be shy. Drop your thoughts inside that chat. And if you really want to make sure your comment question gets noticed, why not use that super chat? Just hit that $sign below the chat box, and whatever you put inside there will be talked about. Actually, sometimes be debated about as well on this show. A lot of back and forth banter, which is super cool. Love a lot of audience engagement. Plus, it's an absolutely great way to support the GSMC Sports Network. We have a group full of amazing podcasters who love one thing and one thing only: professional sports entertainment industry. And we love bringing you guys all the greatest content that keeps you guys entertained, happy, but most importantly, just kind of intertwined with the sports world, like, because sometimes it could be hard, sometimes life could be busy where you can't exactly sit down and watch Sports Center for, like, what I mean. We also have a lot of audio and stuff like that. We have we have shorts, we have segments, shows and stuff like that. So make sure you guys check us out on the GSMC Sports Network, as well as the GSMC Podcasting Network as well. Absolutely, I want to thank you guys in the future. We are absolutely super grateful for each and every one of you guys who joins us here daily on the GSMC Sports Network. Your support makes all the difference. Let's keep the conversation going. Let's keep this party going. Send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. And together we make sure this show is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. But before we get to, before we jump on into any more of the super chat, obviously not your thing. You can still hit up the gsmcpodcast.net. Shoot me your comments, questions, and concerns. Use that tips and donations link. Tell me how you feel. Tell me what you like. Tell me what you don't like. Just remember to Superman punch that like and subscribe button to the show. Follow the show. Follow the network here at the GSMC Sports Network. We do love a lot of peace, love, and positivity, 1,010%. But of course, sports, the best thing about it is you got, nice little back and forth banter, a little debate. Obviously, criticism, feedback is a gift. Just want to make sure you guys feel like you guys are absolutely 1,010% part of the show. We are the GSMC Sports Podcasting Network, and also the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, for the wrestling fans out there. All right, so let's talk about WWE NXT. WWE NXT is live tonight from the WWE Performance Center in Orlando, Florida. The episode, obviously, this is the go-home show. Before Sunday, we have the Halloween Havoc. Make sure you guys, tune into that. Can't wait to, talk about that on Friday. But first and foremost, we got a couple matches on the card. We got Jada Parker taking on Tatum Paxley. Last week, you saw Jada Parker interrupt Tatum Paxley's playtime, and Tatum Paxley didn't take too lightly to that. Should be, obviously, I feel like This is a great match to warm up Jada Parker for her match with Lola Vice. I feel like it's going to happen at Halloween Havoc. Lola Vice is definitely going to get involved. She's going to get involved. She's going to, much like you saw Jada Parker, cost her match against, Nikita Lyons last week. A little payback, a little retribution. I feel like Tatum Paxley will definitely, pick up the win right here, and I feel like it'd be great for Tatum as well. Next we have Luca Crostofino taking on Oba Femi. Oba Femi's going to get his NXT North American Championship rematch clause at Halloween Havoc. As of right now, Tony D'Angelo, the leader of the family. What's going to happen with Luca? Is it, he obviously wants to restore the face of the family because he felt like they were ultimately disrespected. And by all means, that's cool and all, but dude, like you're gonna go against this Nigerian badass. This guy's gonna, I don't know. Definitely expect a smash spot here for Obafemi to kind of, show Tony D'Angelo that what happened a week ago on NXT was a fluke. So, maybe perhaps he regains the title back at Halloween Havoc. I'm not too sure if he will. I feel like, you kind of have to have the North American Championship, available. When Obafemi had the championship, he had such a monstrous and dominating run where, it's kind of like Brock Lesnar. When Brock Lesnar was doing his thing on Monday Night Raw with the Universal Championship, everybody who would, challenge him, it was just, kind of like you knew Brock Lesnar was going to win. It didn't, it didn't really make things that exciting. So, having the NXT North American Championship kind of back in the fray where you can have, superstars like Wesley go after it, or Ethan Page. There's a number of Lexus King. There's a lot of superstar Eddie Thorpe that could possibly become can have a nice run as a North American Championship, shoot their career in a positive direction. There's some superstars on NXT that it seems like they kind of float around a little bit. They put on great matches. And by all means, it seems like everybody on NXT kind of has a role, which is something that I feel like Shawn Michaels and Triple H have done super well on on the yellow, on the gold and black and gold. I did black and gold brand. So, definitely wish the best for Luca Cristofino, but you can expect Obafemi to pick up the victory here to send a message before, Halloween Havoc. All right, next we have Lash Legend and Jakara Jackson taking on Io Sky Kairi Sane. 2 weeks in a row, Legend and Jackson were the reason why Damage Control lost their matches, which it's ticked off Io Sky and Kairi Singh, and this is going to be a great match. You saw, that win on WWE SmackDown on Friday. Last Legend just dominating Piper Niven was pretty badass. I thought that was a great spot for her, to propel her career in a positive direction. But Io Sky and Kairi Singh, they are absolutely, they're not a walk. It's not like a walk in the park. Like, they might be, a little shorter, a little smaller than Jackson and Legend. But ultimately, I don't think that really matters at this point. Io Sky, she is phenomenal. She has the tactical side of professional wrestling. She has technique. She has speed. She has arsenal attack, and she can surprise you out of nowhere. Obviously, her win against Bianca Belair was a great example of that. And Kairi Singh definitely has the potential to be as great as Io Sky. It's going to be a great match. It's going to be an amazing match. I want to see this match run for, longer than, 8 minutes. I feel like they deserve a 2 commercial kind of thing, like 10 minutes, picture in picture and stuff like that. I can't wait to watch this match. Obviously, the winner of this match probably kind of stakes their claim to have a chance at Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championships. So it should be interesting to find out who wins tonight. Legend and Jackson kind of had their spot. They had their chance. But then so did Damage Control, earlier in the, not earlier in the year. I feel like it was a couple months. No, I don't know. They had their chance. They had a chance, but we're not able to kind of, win the match. So, who's going to win? All right. We have Julia teaming up with Stephanie Vacure, taking on JC Jane and Fallon Henry of the Fatal Attraction. I think that's what it's called. Fatal Influence. Damn it. Fatal Attraction, I think, was JC Jane and Gigi Dolan, I think it was. I don't know. I could be wrong. I'm not, maybe I'm tripping. But, we have the Fatal Influence once again, you know, going up, in this smash spot. Julia and Stephanie McCure building up momentum for their match at Halloween Havoc with, Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade. I don't, kind of a bootleg version of the Pure Fusion Collective with Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and also Zoe Stark. I thought they built both of these factions to kind of ultimately, help these women become more successful, to kind of help them kind of put their career back on, back on the right track. But so far, it kind of feels like it's done the opposite. These girls have definitely, they're all talented. Everybody, Fallon Henley, also Jasmine Nix, also JC Jane. These girls are, impressive as hell. But I just don't see them winning tonight. Maybe if Roxanne Perez and Cora Jade get involved into the match, maybe, perhaps, I'm not too sure. But ultimately, this is a clear send the message match with Julia and also Stephanie McCure picking up the victory here. All right, Trick Williams and Ethan Page come face to face before Halloween Havoc. The main event, the NXT Championship will be on the line in a Devil's Playground match. I've never seen a Devil's Playground match. Should be pretty darn interesting. Definitely, this feud. I feel like these guys are going to be on top of NXT for quite some time. Obviously with the beginning of this new CW era, they needed a lot of star power, bringing Ethan Page in from All Elite Wrestling, putting the belt on him for a little bit, establishing him as a real threat and as like a real, like a heel. I kind of compare him to like a villain in a Marvel movie, like where you where you love to hate him, but then sometimes like he's like such a badass and he's so great at what he does inside the ring that you're like, man, Ethan Page is actually kind of cool. So, I think I feel like these guys definitely have a future. I kind of compare it to like the Rock and Triple H kind of feud back during the WWE Attitude Era. I feel like that'd be pretty that seems like it's, I don't know, the right comparison to me, because these two guys are definitely have the star power that Triple H did and the Rock back in that day. So should be pretty cool. I'm interested to find out what's going to happen next. Also something to kind of keep an eye on in NXT with, what's going to happen with Javon Evans. Also Wes Lee. Will Leslie be a part of this? Also, Lexus King recently on NXT has kind of been showing that he's going to be a babyface. I don't believe it. I feel like it's just a matter of time until he kind of shows his true colors here. But as of right now, he's kind of, he's saying that he's, just gentleman's duel and this and that and the other. Also, what's going to happen with the Heritage Cup? Will somebody step up to Charlie Dempsey to challenge him? It should be interesting. Should be a pretty awesome episode of NXT. Can't wait to watch it, obviously, when I get done with this show. So, but before then, let's go to move on to our next segment. We're going to talk about Samantha Irvin's reasons for her WWE departure. So, grab your favorite snack, grab your favorite ice cold beverage, and join me here in about 25 seconds.
Looking for your daily fix of sports talk without having to pay for it? GSMC Sports Network is available on YouTube. Just search GSMC Sports Network. Get your fix of daily sports talk shows on YouTube, absolutely free. NFL, college football, NBA, MLB, MMA, UFC, fantasy football, and so much more. GSMC Sports Network has shows running all day long, with new sports shows starting every 2 hours. Just like on your favorite cable sports channel, except GSMC Sports Network is absolutely free. Just search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube to catch one of your new favorite shows, like the GSMC College Football Podcast, Chip Shot Football Podcast, Hoops and Heels Women's Sports Podcast, GSMC Basketball Podcast, and so many more. Check it out for yourself. GSMC Sports Network, now available on YouTube absolutely free. Search GSMC Sports Network on YouTube right now.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here, your favorite wrestling fan, to give you all the cool factoids inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain drama. We talk about superstar injury updates, inactive statuses. We talk about contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings. We talk about promotions from WWE, the New Japan Professional Wrestling, to Stardom, to the GCW, to the NWA. Sometimes we talk about, back in the day with WCW and ECW, we make major news headlines in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show Monday through Friday, so don't forget to like and subscribe and follow the show. All right, just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. We had my WWE Monday Night Raw review. We also talked about, NXT tonight. Give a couple of hot takes. Also, kind of preview the episode a little bit. I know it already aired on the East Coast. But, I'm still a sucker paying for cable, so I have it recorded right now. I haven't checked a single shred of social media. No TikTok, Instagram, or Facebook, any content or any updates like that. Love to be surprised. But obviously, if you have a cool, nice little spoiler, obviously, hit it up in the chat if you want to talk about it. 1,010%. It's this podcast is it's ours just as much as it is about the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. So without further ado, let's go ahead and jump on into our third segment here. But obviously, before we do that, hit up that super chat, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. Make sure you guys feel like you are part of the show. I want to thank you guys in the future. Basically saying that we are, absolutely nothing without your guys' support. Thank you for absolutely everything. Thank you for watching the shows. We are super grateful for each and every one of you guys. So, send in those super chats, those super stickers, because you guys are super awesome. Together, we'll make sure this podcast is bigger, better, and stronger than ever. So let's go ahead and talk about some Samantha Irvin news. Yesterday it was released that she departed from the WWE. Obviously, it left fans, absolutely shocked. I was definitely shocked. I did not think that, I thought she definitely had a lot more time. After Ricochet left the WWE, it was, told that they were going to keep Samantha Irvin. They, according to some reports, that they already worked out a deal. But, there's a lot of reasons why somebody could possibly, want to leave and try to, pursue greater pastures, because she's talented. And, her time in WWE, she definitely made herself, she was her own brand. She was getting a lot of attention on social media and stuff like that. She was connecting, with the fans. She was giving hot takes in terms of professional wrestling. She was, kind of being a badass. She was like, you know what? Something that you definitely should do, in any kind of place of work. If you have the opportunity to kind of, shine bright for the sake of yourself, for your future, so you can be successful, obviously, trying to get better deals and stuff like that. I'm not too sure how much a Raw and a ring announcer makes, but, if she can, try to pursue, a career in entertainment, or, obviously, a lot of other options, she could definitely do that. And, I think she will do that. I can definitely see her, along the lines there. You saw her singing the national anthem, of course, at a Raiders game in Las Vegas, kind of promoting WrestleMania 41. Kind of playing with the idea maybe she could possibly wind up with her fiance at AEW. She would absolutely 1,010%, beat out Justin Roberts for that job. I'm just kidding. No, he's pretty cool too. I loved him in WWE. But Samantha Irvin, she has so much star power. She has that it girl factor surrounding her, and kind of that Tony Khan has a reputation around the locker room and the world of wrestling that he's very accommodating in terms of his wrestlers pursuing outside projects. Like when Mercedes Moné was doing The Mandalorian, he was like, "Oh, I would send a plane out there, private plane out there, to kind of bring her, from there to there to our shows and stuff like that." So, with the flexible schedule, Tony Khan could definitely lure in and kind of tempt the contract for Samantha Irvin. And you also have to talk about Tony Khan's connections with Ted Turner. Obviously, TBS, TNT, maybe one call away, and then she's on an acting television show on TNT or TBS. Also, this deal with HBO Max as well. Maybe she winds up on a series on HBO Max, or perhaps, kind of get into some movie deals and stuff like that. And then also another side, you have, you have the connection to the Jacksonville Jaguars. and obviously you saw her singing the Star Spangled Banner for the NFL. Imagine, I was kind of playing with the idea a little bit with my man Anthony Mazzano. um, he would mention about her possibly being an NFL sideline reporter, which would be great. I think she would be, I think she would thrive in that kind of environment. She has that voice, she has a personality. Obviously, you have the look. So 1,010%, she would be amazing at whatever whatever she has to do. But recently, in an article I read, it kind of talked about the reason why she left WWE. Her performance on Raw was immaculate. Lillian Garcia came back, and she did great. There was a couple times where she did slip up, but ultimately, comparing her to Samantha Irvin, I feel like because you have younger generations of superstars coming in. Lillian Garcia, she has that it factor as well. Like, she's great. She has a great voice. She gets people into it. But I don't know, like, you kind of had this connection with Samantha, and inside the ring with with the WWE superstars, with her fellow co-stars and wrestlers, also personnel. Like, there was a during the main event, and I obviously this could be my pickiness of being a professional wrestling fan. You saw Jimmy Uso going out, giving Lillian Garcia like a fist bump, and I don't know, it just didn't seem like just didn't seem like the right vibe. Like, you know what I mean? When you see Lillian Garcia, you're like, well, absolute, like, respect. She's kind of like, more of more, etiquette. She's, more of a professional. And Samantha Irvin kind of went out there and she was like, look, like, these are my people as well. These are, my friends just as much as their co-stars. We are all family. So at the same time, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to have fun with it. Like, you know what I mean? So, I definitely, going to miss that aspect in terms of Samantha Irvin when she was inside the ring. It's kind of crazy. Lillian Garcia, she did start in 1999. She 15 years. Thought that was kind of crazy. Irving's departure was obviously super, surprise to everybody, fans, to fellow wrestlers, personnel, makeup, and basically everybody loved her. She was loved in the WWE, locker room and stuff like that. She was at the height of her popularity, 1,010%. Once when Ricochet left the WWE, a lot of fans had speculations that she would follow. And once when he was written off, the WWE was, I can imagine them, trying to, develop a deal with Ricochet. But then I'm pretty sure AEW offered him more than offered him, which by all means was the right choice by Ricochet. I thought, I would have took a contract with AEW as well, because I feel like WWE ultimately, they didn't really know how to use Ricochet. He was, he's the human highlight reel who you would see, on pointless matches on Raw and win the WWE Speed Championship, where all of his matches were only 3 minutes or less. So definitely love seeing him on AEW. He's already making an impact, getting title shots, hanging out with his buddy Will Ospreay, having great matches. So, definitely thought he made the right move going to All Elite Wrestling. Will Samantha, follow? It's up in the air. Ricochet already said on social media that, no need to fret, no one needs to worry, because he's got, she's not coming to AEW. She might be completely done with the world of professional wrestling, but she left because of scheduling dramas, scheduling problems. Excuse me. She left because of scheduling problems, time away from the family. Like, it matters compared to the way the WWE used to travel. Obviously, it's been cut down. In 2025, Triple H Paul Levesque already reported it's going to be, basically cut in half, which is great for superstars to kind of have that connectivity with their family and loved ones. Also, a great way to avoid injury. A lot of storylines heading into WrestleMania 40 and after were affected by injuries. Like, look what happened when CM Punk was quote unquote was supposed to win the Royal Rumble and challenge Seth Rollins for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. Instead, he gets injured. Then Drew McIntyre gets injured, and it just seems like Monday Night Raw was kind of had a lot of these storylines on the back burner because of all the injuries and stuff like that. And even like with the women's as well, Asuka, she was gone. Charlotte Flair's been gone for quite some time. And I feel like this is going to be great for wrestlers. You know what I mean? I feel like it'd be ultimately perfect. And like I said, although, it has not been confirmed, she had opposite work schedule of her fiance Ricochet. Obviously, a huge problem, especially when you guys used to, travel, from city to city to city, Like, you know what I mean? Like, if I ever kind of had that gig, obviously with my fiance or my wife, you'd have the show, you put up and you hang out in a hotel room, have a nightcap, maybe go out for a late dinner, and times were good. Like every night, essentially, could have been like a nice like little date night in a different city, in a different state, hell, even sometimes internationally, a different country, and having that kind of luxury with your fiance and stuff like that, I can imagine that definitely took a toll. That took a toll when Ricochet left in the summer. The grind basically makes of the WWE travel. Irving said basically making it impossible to focus on outside projects other than the WWE. It's been something in her mind for quite some time leaving the WWE. Ultimately, she wants to focus on her music career, spend time with family, especially like her daughter and stuff like that. PW Insider also reports that Lillian Garcia is not permanent. She's not going to be permanent. She's expected to have an extended run in WWE. PW Insider also reports that WWE will remain in good terms with Samantha Irvin if both, if it comes to an agreement, if it comes to, both of them kind of having beneficial I guess a beneficial agreement being like, all right, I'm going to join WWE or announce a PLE because it's going to get my name out there. Also, WWE is like, look, we're going to get Samantha back. So it's going to bring, a breath of nostalgia, having her come back. It's, she's going to be welcomed and warmed by the WWE universe ultimately. So, it would be beneficial. It would be beneficial, obviously, to kind of keep ties and also keep this positive relationship going between Samantha Irvin and the WWE. So, crazy, a lot of stuff happening. Like I said, in terms of life, sometimes, so, life, it goes by fast. Like, you know what I mean? Then the snap of your finger, minutes turn to hours, hours turn to days, days turn to weeks, weeks turns to months, months turn to years. Like it's crazy. I felt like just like last week it was Christmas, and now Christmas is right around the corner. I have to get myself into credit card debt because I have 3 kids. Like, you know what I mean? Like, so, uh, it's time, time's crazy. Time is crazy. So obviously Samantha felt like it was the right time to kind of, to make the decision because it was like, you know what? And I think she's 37 years old. Obviously, I feel like age will never ever slow her down. But sometimes you got to pull the trigger. Once when you feel like you have the opportunity to kind of seize the moment, so to speak, and obviously wish the best for Samantha Irvin and her future endeavors and her family, and with Ricochet as well. Loved Ricochet, absolutely loved Ricochet. WWE dropped the ball with Ricochet major. All right, so hey, do not go anywhere. We're going to jump on into our fourth segment. We're going to talk about NXT coming to the ECW arena in November. So hey, do not go anywhere.
For the best and latest podcasts available anywhere, go to the podcast app on your cell phone and type in GSMC to access free content-rich podcasts on health and wellness, book reviews, sports, entertainment, relationships, social media, movies, technology, finance, and even weird news. Subscribe and download the GSMC Podcast Network's family of shows, available everywhere podcasts are found.
All right, we are back with the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here every Monday through Friday, 8 p.m. Pacific Time, 11 p.m. Eastern Time, here to talk about everything in the world of professional wrestling, all the action inside and outside of the ring, backstage curtain drama, rumors, and stuff like that. We talk about, superstar inactive statuses and injury updates, from contract negotiations, extensions, and new signings to brands. We talk about promotions from AEW to WWE. To Ring of Honor to Stardom. Also, the GCW, if it makes major news in the world of professional wrestling. We talk about it here on this show Monday through Friday, so make sure you tune into the GSMC Sports Network, like and subscribe. So, we can definitely talk about some professional wrestling. Just kind of reflect on what we talked about right quick. I gave you guys my WWE Monday Night Raw review. We also talked about some WWE NXT tonight, and then we talked about Samantha Irvin's real reasons on why the sudden departure from WWE, and now we're going to talk about NXT coming to the ECW arena. By all means, I'm super excited. I'm super excited. I feel like this is going to be great for NXT as a brand, kind of being on its kind of being on its own feet here. Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. Obviously, Philly fans are super excited after after you had WrestleMania 40 recently there. So I bet you they love it when WWE comes back to town at the at the 2300 arena. That was ECW's thing. That's that they tore the roof off the place every single night. Hardcore matches, Hall of Famers like Rob Van Dam, like Sabu, you saw the Dudley Boys out there as well. You also saw Taz. You also saw Raven. You saw the Sandman. It's pretty badass. Who else was out? ECW, that was pretty big. Just Incredible, Tommy Dreamer. Terry Funk was even there a couple of times. Early years like Cactus Jack. A lot of great wrestlers. ECW will always and forever be cherished, precious memory in the world of professional wrestling and in the world of wrestling fans. You know what I mean? It was never really a point where people thought to themselves oh, ECW, a third brand trying to stake its claim and be a dominating force in the wrestling industry. I don't think they thought that at all. I felt like ultimately they kind of went out there and they're like, we're going to give the show, we're going to give these people everything that they thought and that they hoped they wanted inside a wrestling promotion. And they went out there and oh my God, they went out there and put their bodies on the line. They did it all for the sake of entertainment and the wrestling universe. So definitely that passion to entertain the fans, but also at the same time, find a way to kind of help elevate each other. ECW was it was like a family. And a lot of these wrestlers, they kind of grew up to have lifelong friendships with all the other wrestlers. And by all means, it was it was great. It was great. But obviously, NXT coming to ECW, I'm not too sure if they're gonna, embrace the ECW spirit that is beheld inside that venue. Maybe they kind of find a way to make every match a hardcore match in November to Dismember or something like that would be pretty cool. But then again, Halloween Havoc, you have the wheel, so I'm not too sure if they're going to put their wrestlers through so much, hardcore, possibility matches and stuff like that. But you could expect, probably a couple of cameos from these guys. It's already been confirmed that Bubba Ray Dudley is going to be on NXT that night. I would love to see Rob Van Dam recently signed a WWE Legends contract as well. Would love to see Paul Heyman maybe come back to NXT, so that he's going to make his debut on SmackDown once again without kind of mentioning it. But I don't know. It should be I want to see a whole bunch of I want to see a bunch of cameos. I don't know. I might be a little bit too selfish here. Maybe it's my beginningness of my old school wrestling fandom. But I don't know. I think that'd be pretty badass. Tommy Dreamer comes back in the mix. Oh, that'd be so cool. That'd be totally badass. It's also airing on a Wednesday night, and that's another thing as well. NXT going head to head with AEW. AEW recently had Title Tuesday where they went head to head with NXT. Obviously, the numbers, the discrepancy between the viewers and stuff like that. It was no match. It was no, not really any competition there. But this is going to be another time where NXT, I feel like, is going to knock AEW into the water, which is which sucks because AEW Dynamite, they're gearing for a pretty awesome show. I'm going to preview that tomorrow, so make sure you guys tune into that. But I don't know, going head to head with AEW, being like, yeah, we're going to challenge you guys. Why'd you have to put it on a Wednesday? Maybe that's the only time the venue had an availability, and just NXT kind of going out on their own, establishing themselves as their own entity. And the tickets are already sold out in pre-sale, and that's insane. That's nuts. Shawn Michaels ultimately wants to embrace the spirit of of the venue in itself. It's a historic venue, like I said. I mentioned before earlier in this segment, how it's it's cherished memories of ECW that will never, that has never died. You know what I mean? Once when Paul Heyman was inducted into the WWE Hall of Fame, he was, basically saying how ECW will always live. They were never, bought out. They were never, destroyed or killed, or their spirit was never lost. It's always lived on. It's always lived on inside the world of professional wrestling. That's why I'm so I would be totally ecstatic to see Paul Heyman, make an appearance at the ECW arena. That would be super duper badass. That would, oh my God, that'd be out of this world. Pretty cool. So, definitely hoping, got my high hopes for some, a couple of cameos maybe. I'm also excited to find out what the match card's gonna invoke. Essentially, it's going to be, I think it's October 26th is Halloween Havoc, and then like a week. I think it's a week after Halloween Havoc. That's crazy. I feel like it's the Fallout show of Halloween Havoc, and it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. I want to see number one contenders being made. I want to see title matches. I gotta be honest. I might be a little selfish here, but I would love to see a couple of title matches. I want to see Roxanne Perez go one on one with Stephanie Vacar. I want to see something like that. That would be super cool. 1,010%. That would be super badass. Oh my God, man. I don't know. It's just, ECW was badass. ECW was cool. I remember, reading wrestling magazines growing up and checking out some of these stars, and some of them would be like in a barbed wire rope match, and like, me bleeding from like the floor. Like it was intense. It was really edgy, and it was, super badass all at the same time. I don't know how that all works out, but it does. But it does. But I don't know. I just think it's 1,010%. It should be great. NXT to kind of promote their brand. Um, a tag team division match would be, Rich Holland taking on, Andre Chase would be pretty cool. Or maybe Duke Hudson in a hardcore match would be ideal. Everything going down with Chase U right now, it's crazy. Poor Chase U, Riley Osborne's kind of the last one to kind of get knocked off. Thea Hills, she's yelling and screaming. She could definitely be an actress. It's crazy how how devoted she is to that kayfabe and that role of Thea Hill, the sweetheart, the crouching tiger of Chase U, because she's a badass. Like, although she might be smaller in stature, she can still come out and like rip your face off. So she had actually a really good match against Roxanne Perez when she had the shot at the title. I think that was Great American Bash or Bash at the Beach. I'm not too. I think it was Great American Bash, and it was just, I don't know, it was just great. It was a great match. Loved it 1,010%. Obviously, you kind of have this feud between Jada Parker and Lola Vice. It would be cool to kind of see them tie up in an ECW kind of setting in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania on November 6th. That would be super badass as well. I would definitely love to see that. And it's November 6th. I think it's November 6th. I just saw it in the graphic. So, I think it is going to be the Fallout show from Halloween Havoc, which is good, which is great. No, it might be the week after. No, I might be messing up my days. No, it's gonna be, I think, a week after. Yeah, I think it's gonna be a week after, because Halloween's on a Wednesday. Tuesday's NXT, so the 30. Oh, okay, yeah. Okay, so it's not the Fallout show from Halloween Havoc. It's gonna be the week after. So, maybe you have that show that's taking place on the 30th, kind of just a build up, getting, once again, sending these people out here to challenge for the title, which I feel like NXT does a really good job of that. You have the titles being contended, on a week to week basis. I love it. I think it's great. They get a pay-per-view, not every month, but almost like every other month. So I feel like, but then sometimes they have their special editions of, NXT Tuesdays, where you kind of have like PLE caliber storylines and matches happening. And that's 1,010% exactly what I think this is going to be. Got a shout out from my boy Lefty One. Hi, I'm a big fan of WWE NXT, and also is it AEW? Got to move my chat thing. And also Eve. I'm assuming East Eve. That could be a wrestling promotion. I might be out of context here or whatever. But I mean, that's awesome. That's awesome. Definitely love seeing a lot of engagement inside the chat. Thank you so much for commenting. I've been a WWE fan, probably my whole life. I remember watching it. I remember when SmackDown came to UPN channel 13. That was, I think it was on after the Sabrina the Teenage Witch. I think it might have been. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. But it was badass. Wrestling has always, been something that has that's been consistent in a lot of people's lives and stuff like that. A lot of people can rely on professional wrestling to kind of be there, that you can watch it, get excited about, like, you know what I mean. Although people do watch sports, that's part of the main reason why I'm a huge sports fan, is because the excitement one feels once when somebody hits that game tying or that walk off home run in Major League Baseball, or that key pick six interception to win the Super Bowl, like, moments like that, or that buzzer beater, that three, in the NBA. It's just this excitement. It's this drug that, I don't know, that could, I don't know, it could strive a person, like, you know what I mean? Obviously, that's the reason why, people do podcasts. That's the reason why, people invest, time and energy and, doing sports shows or going to college to do something in terms of the sports entertainment industry, is because, they can't get enough of it. And definitely the best thing that I feel like a sports broadcaster, the number one passion should definitely be, like, sure, I'm going to come to work every day and I'm going to be happy and smile, because at the end of the day, I'm talking sports. But I want to bring sports to life. I want to bring new fans into, like, wrestling or into the NFL. I want people to get excited just like I do. Like, you know what I mean? So ultimately, I don't know. That's how sports and wrestling have, kind of impacted my life. So definitely, love and respect. Thank you, Lefty, for the comment. And we're going to go ahead and move on to our next segment. We're going to talk about Tuesdays today in wrestling history. We're going to jump into my DeLorean, guys, get it to 88 miles per hour and go back in time on this date. Talk about some of the key things that's happened in the world of, in the history of professional wrestling that that was pretty badass. That was pretty cool. Good spots, memorable moments. And so without further ado, let's dive into that. But before, we're going to take a quick commercial break. So, hey, stay tuned. All right, welcome back to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. I'm your host, Eric Rodriguez, here, your favorite wrestling. We talk about the greatest thing in the world, professional wrestling. We talk about superstars. We talk about, the action inside and outside the ring. We talk about promotions from WWE, the AEW, the TNA, to Ring of Honor. If it makes major news headlines in terms of professional wrestling, we talk about it here on this show on the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast. So make sure you like and subscribe to the show so you guys could definitely be a part of this awesome mix. Make sure you guys feel like your voice is heard. Hit up the chat. Type your thoughts inside that chat box so we can talk about something super cool. Don't be shy. Definitely love a lot of audience engagement. There are no wrong answers. Would absolutely love to talk about anything and hear your guys' hot takes in terms of the world of professional wrestling. All right, so let's go to talk about our fifth and final segment. We're going to gun this DeLorean to 88 miles per hour, go back in time to 1995 in your house for Great White North came from Winnipeg Arena in Manitoba, Canada. Shawn Michaels was stripped of the WWF Intercontinental Championship due to a real life confrontation and getting himself beat up. The night before, I watched the Shawn Michaels documentary. He was, I guess, trying to get at some girls, and I guess there was a couple of dudes. I think it was military. I don't think no, it might have been military guys. I'm not too sure. Don't quote me on that. And then they got in an actual fight, and then Sean got hurt, and he was he had to relinquish his Intercontinental Championship because of that. Like he got hurt outside of the WWE, and in terms of Vince McMahon, that was a big no-no. You're committed to this job where you're putting your body on the line, and if you come in hurt, you're not going to be able to perform. Back in the day, wrestlers, they used to fight for television time. They used to travel and wrestle, 7 days a week. If you're hurt, you don't get TV time, and if you don't get TV time, you don't get paid. So, having Shawn get stripped of the WWE Intercontinental Championship was, kind of crazy. The Intercontinental title was awarded to Dean Douglas, who would lose it to Razor Ramon within the next 11 minutes. Elsewhere on the card, a debuting Goldust, formerly known as Dustin Rhodes, beating Marty Jannetty via pinfall. So, Dustin Rhodes, not Dustin. Yeah, Dustin Rhodes. I don't know why whenever I say Dustin Rhodes, I feel like I'm saying Dusty. Goldust. I loved Goldust. I thought he was super badass. I thought he was super cool. Added kind of like an edgier element inside the world of professional wrestling. Some people might have thought it would have been, it was a little, weird, but ultimately, he was part of the Shattered Dreams production. He was kind of portrayed as like this Hollywood movie star, back in time. You know what I mean? Like he had the fake wig, he'd come out in the robe, and he was just Goldust. You know what I mean? Like he was gold. I loved Goldust. I thought it was pretty cool. All right, next we're gonna talk about 2000 WWE No Mercy. First and foremost, the WWF No Mercy game on the Nintendo 64 is without a doubt the best wrestling game in the world. It was the debut of the ladder match. It was also the steel cage match where it was an actual chain link fence instead of like the black bars that you saw at WrestleMania 2000. This was a great video game. It was amazing. It was fun to play. There was also, you can go backstage. There was you're in the back, you're in a broil room match. You were also at a bar. You throw somebody through the pool table. Just talking about it kind of makes you want to play it. Definitely love that game. Grew up playing it with my siblings. Definitely one of the best games in the whole entire world. Plus, just the creations were just it was just cool. It was awesome. Definitely. So, WWE No Mercy 2000 went down at the Pepsi Arena in Albany, New York. Title changes included Los Conquistadors, which was Edge and Christian, in a luchador mask, taking the WWF Tag Team Championships away from the Hardy Boys, Matt and Jeff, and Kurt Angle beating The Rock in a no disqualification match for the WWF Championship. Also returning, Stone Cold Steve Austin fought Rikishi to a no contest resulted in like a no holds barred match, which which was pretty cool. I think I remember renting this on VHS. I remember, going to our local, Hollywood Video, or was Superstar Video, or like Blockbuster. You guys remember those? Kind of showing my age here a little bit. Oh my God, it's crazy. But I remember, you'd have to rent a new release. It was $2.50 for 5 days, which wasn't bad. Which as a compared to renting movies or shows on Amazon or on HBO Max, like it's a lot, dude. It's a lot of money, even just to rent it for like, oh, you get it for 36 hours. You can, you can replay it as much as you want. And you're like, damn, dude, that's kind of a lot of money, man. It's crazy. But ultimately, WrestleMania 2000. No, sorry, I'm thinking about the video game. WWF No Mercy 2000 was a banger. Now back to 2000. Now not back. Going forward to 2001 on a championship match stacked Monday Night Raw featured 4 titles changing hands. Tajiri defeated Billy Kidman for the WCW Cruiserweight Championship, which was I remember watching this. I didn't like that match because Billy Kidman I thought was the better fit for the WCW, introducing WWF and WCW during the invasion angle, which was, handled terribly by Vince McMahon and creative. Um, Billy Kidman was just a better fit. I love Tajiri, and he had this, he was a cruiserweight, he was high flyer, yeah, he was all that in a bag of chips. But I just thought Billy Kidman was better. I definitely thought he should have had the title. But I don't know, it's kind of crazy. Then Kurt Angle, the Olympic gold medalist, defeated Rhino for the WCW United States Championship. Bradshaw defeated the Hurricane for the WWF European Championship. Chris Jericho and The Rock defeated the Dudley Boys, Bubba Ray Dudley and Devon to become the new WWF Tag Team Championships. So you basically had WWF take all the belts, you know what I mean? Which is kind of a damn shame, which sucks. But then once again, not really surprised here. Not really surprised to find out how WWE, completely just like I said, during the invasion angle, how Vince McMahon was like, all right, we want to prove that WCW wrestlers, can't hang with the WWF. And then you had the Dudley Boys inside inside WWE/WWF for quite some time. And, because they were so ECW, they were kind of thrown into that boat, that invasion angle, where it was like, hey, yeah, we'll just, bunch up ECW and WCW and have them look completely stupid against the WWF. But I don't know. I just thought it could have been handled a lot better. So I don't know. It's kind of crazy. Bradshaw defeating the Hurricane. Dude, Bradshaw's like a hefty, 200 and something, almost 300-pound muscle guy, and the Hurricane's probably I probably weigh more than Gregory Helms back in the day. That's crazy. I don't know. It was obviously back in time. So yeah. All right. Now we're moving forward back in 2003. Damn. In Nashville, Tennessee, on a weekly episode of the NWA/TNA, Jeff Jarrett beat AJ Styles to win the NWA World Heavyweight title. I am not too keen on the NWA, and I've started watching TNA probably around 2006. But Jeff Jarrett seems like he's been everywhere, man. He was on WWF, he was on the NWA, he was in TNA, he was in WCW, and he was everywhere. Now he's on AEW. He's doing things there as well. So, man, this guy, he's pro wrestling. So, AJ Styles so young. Oh my God, he looks so young. That's crazy. Obviously, it sucks he got injured. Aging is a thing. Sometimes we can't do things that that our body used to do. But then our brain obviously has other plans, and yeah, dude, yeah, Eric, you can still go on a hike run with your, with this coworker that's 19, 20 years old. Dude, you got this. Come back with a hurted Achilles and my ankle, oh my God, it was it was bad. But I don't know. Anyways, Jeff Jarrett, man, in the world of professional wrestling. 2006 TNA pay-per-view Bound for Glory took place from the Capuware Sports Arena in Detroit, Michigan. The main event saw Sting beat Jeff Jarrett for the NWA World Heavyweight Championship, with Kurt Angle serving as the special guest enforcer. Earlier in the show, Latin American Exchange Hernandez and Homicide beat AJ Styles and Christopher Daniels in the six sides of steel cage match to claim the NWA World Tag Team titles. I gotta be honest, I was a huge fan of those, of the six-sided ring. I thought that was badass. Added kind of just made TNA different. You know what I mean? Eventually they would go to a four-sided ring, which was, in terms of modern day wrestling, it was the best decision. But a six-sided ring, I remember watching it for the first time. I was like, dude, that's, that was cool. You know what I mean? I remember begging my parents to buy me, a TNA ring, but those rings, you got as a kid, it feels like, the turnbuckles were very flimsy. I don't know. They always broke. So, definitely thought it was, it was cool. That you used to have the X Division championship matches where, you'd have the ropes and you have to climb, into the middle and try to get the title. I thought that was super cool as well. But a six-sided steel cage match, that's pretty damn cool. Yeah. Anyways, moving forward, we have the 2017 WWE presented the TLC pay-per-view from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota. The top matches on the card were famously shaken up just hours before the event due to an illness to top talent. The event was due to see the Shield reunite for the first time to face Braun Strowman, Kane, The Bar, and The Miz in a handicap main event. In the end, Kurt Angle actually replaced Roman Reigns, making his in-ring appearance for WWE since his original run with the company when it ended in 2006. In addition, the match between the Demon, Finn Balor, and Sister Abigail Bray Wyatt was replaced with a dream match between Finn Balor and AJ Styles, which was bad. I hated that. I wanted to see this match so bad. I used to love how Bray Wyatt, he kind of had this dark, ominous, like horror movie kind of feel to it. And just kind of it sucked. It was terrible. Much like, seeing this revamp of the Shield suck. Then you had a goofy you had the entrance come out. You had Seth, you had Dean Ambrose, and then coming up with the cheesiest smile in the world. Kurt Angle with the bulletproof. Oh my God, it was interesting. By all means, it was cool. I was like, dude, that's cool for Kurt. Good for you, man. Good for you, dog. All in all, I thought it was a little wonky, but I thought it was super cool at the end of the day. But I don't know, just that cheesy smile, man. That's crazy. Oh man. In 2018, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins defeated Drew McIntyre and Dolph Ziggler to win the Raw Tag Team Championships on Monday Night Raw in Providence, Rhode Island. I think this was once when Dean Ambrose actually went heel. I think that's when he attacked Seth Rollins. I could be wrong. Don't quote me on that. But once again, kind of showing the Dean Ambrose character after he left the Shield, and a little bit before he decided to go on to AEW for better creative pastures. He was. I didn't like it. The moral compass and stuff like that. Like I wasn't really into it. I thought it was kind of stupid. But obviously back then, and it was still during the Vince McMahon creative era. So, just bad timing. It was, kind of crazy, kind of stupid. I feel like the fans would have loved to see Ambrose and Rollins kind of go longer as the tag team title holders for quite some time more. But also then you had future stars like Drew McIntyre, who eventually got a WWE championship run, which I feel like he deserved all along. A couple of wrestling notable birthdays: we have Pedro Morales, Bad News Brown, Pork Chop Cash, Don Harris, Taya Valkyrie. Happy birthday to all those guys. Thank you for jumping into my wrestling DeLorean, going back in time to some of these key moments, some of these awesome moments in the world of professional wrestling. Definitely, loved having you guys sit shotgun. Definitely. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to the GSMC Wrestling Laureate Podcast, brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. That's it for me today. Hope you guys had a good one. Follow us on Twitter /X, Instagram, TikTok, and Facebook for more content and updates. And like I always say, if I have not made you a wrestling fan by now, if you're a huge NFL fan, we have 2 football podcasts with the GSMC Football Podcast with Kenneth. We got the Chip Shot Football Podcast with Manny. So make sure you guys find out all your breaking news in the world of the National Football League. Tune into their shows as well. We also have college football. College football runs Saturdays. A lot of great teams. A lot of unpredictable matches. Sometimes, favoring the home team that it could be a shocker. Tune into Tommy's GSMC College Football Podcast. It's pretty badass, super entertaining. And in terms of football, college, or even the NFL, and even the NBA. Even the NBA it starts today. Make sure you tune into Chris Shepard's fantasy sports shows. Find out your stardoms, your sit-ems, who to draft in the NBA. Well, I think it's already done, but basically, find out your stardoms, your sit-ems, who to pick up off the waiver wire, make your team into a WWE championship caliber team by watching Chris Shepard's podcast. We also have Nelson with basketball, the GSMC Basketball Podcast. We had the New York Liberty win the WNBA championship, and now we have the NBA starting tonight. And I feel like this is going to be one of the greatest seasons in the NBA. There's a lot of young talent. It's kind of up in the air. There's a couple of teams that are out there and you're like, man, like that team sucks. But I feel like ultimately it's anybody's ball game. today's bloody ball game. So, speaking of ball games, we have the World Series featuring the New York Yankees and the Los Angeles Dodgers. Make sure you tune into TJ's GSMC Sports Podcast. They're going to have exclusive information and hot takes in terms of the World Series, in-depth analysis on both teams. Tune into the Sports by GSMC with Jeremy as well to get all your cool, sports, all around sports, from baseball, basketball, football, hockey, you name it. Just a great way, your one-stop shop for amazing sports content. All right, guys, so that's it for me today. Stay beautiful, but most importantly, I love you.
Let's go. I wake up to a little bit of drool on my pillow, feel like it's gonna be a bad day. Yeah, I'm tired of shit.